Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Noemi Makes Things. So here I am working on a textile project. This is a video that I made several years ago that I'm finally getting around to editing. And so I decided to make this weaving based on a drawing that my partner from that time had made. You can see it on the little piece of paper. And what I'm using to make the weaving is I'm using I believe it's like a bead loom for like bracelet making. And so I just wound up the loom with some thinner cotton string, and the green and black string is cotton. And I'm using tapestry needles to just go over and above the, I can't remember, I believe it's warp, the vertical ones. And then I'm using the tapestry needles to also pat down every time I weave the cotton through. I'm patting it down, making it consistent. And I'm also taking the black yarn and the blue yarn, and here I've just added another black, but I'm actually taking the black yarn and the blue yarn and like twisting them around each other so that there's a connection there, so that there is a cohesive, continuous fabric. Otherwise there would be some spaces. And I filmed this during lockdown in 2020, and I was in New York City, and now I've moved upstate, so you see me weaving with some natural light. And yeah, it's really wonderful. It's really nice to look back at this footage and to like re-experience what the act of making this piece was. And there I am getting some sunshine. And here's the beautiful view of my dad's garden. We've got a cherry tree, we've got some tomatoes. And yeah, it's weaving is really wonderful. If you've never tried doing any sort of like tapestry weaving, it takes a long time, but I think you find it really rewarding. If you enjoy knitting or crochet, any type of thing, it's sort of like it's growing slowly over time. And this was a fun project because now you can see I'm sort of doing, instead of like a big green rectangle in between black, I'm doing these 3 smaller green rectangles, and I am, having to figure out, the spacing. And I think that's something that might make it easier would be to have like drawn with like a fabric marker on the, I believe it's the warps, the vertical strings. Yeah, just to have like a plan as you're working on it. But freestyling it is fun too. And and I really enjoyed working with cotton because the end product, I don't know if it's an art piece, craft, the end piece feels really nice. So here I am just working on it. And yeah, I really, really like the color combination of this turquoise and black. And I think for a while, I've really loved that color combination. So it was just sort of funny that we had markers that were like the exact same color. But I'm excited to try weaving again. And just watching this video, I had an idea to make sneakers that are woven. I think that would be really interesting. And yeah, I wonder, I don't think that this was the most efficient way to weave. Obviously you can do things where you can like, if you have more of a mathematical system where you can pull up certain threads and let them down. Here I'm scooting the piece lower so I can keep moving. And yeah, and with this bead loom, you can tighten and twist it and roll things forward. But ultimately, for this being the first time I ever really did a weaving on a mini tapestry loom. I really enjoyed doing it, and I like how it turned out. And I think something that is important is the number of vertical threads. I believe that's the warp. That based on your design, if you have something like I think I had an even number of warp threads, but I had a design that had like a very central, like had a center point, and I think in that case you want an odd number. But I'm not sure if my memory is serving me correctly, but yeah, like the math of going over and under and over and under, it's different than knitting. Like a stitch is a stitch. Well, actually with weaving, you're either under or over. So I would like get some graph paper and sort of predetermine that sort of logic of how weaving works when deciding how many vertical warp threads to put on your loom. And yeah, I guess I kind of made this piece, and I was thinking it would be like a wall piece. Probably I would like frame it and put it as an artwork. But the way that I wove it, this would be a great way to make like a strap for a bag, for example. It could also be a great way to make a bracelet. Yeah, I was just thinking it would be cool to make sandals, sport sliders, and these are this is sort of like the strap on the sandal, and it is though one-sided. Like the back doesn't look, I didn't make it reversible. Like the back does have knots, so that's something to consider. But we're just doing the last few rows, and then yeah, I just flipped it over. I just tied up any of the loose threads, and yeah, just snipped off the excess threads, tied everything up really well, and yeah, then I snipped it off the loom, and this is the final piece. And sorry, the sun has set, so the light is not as good, but you still can get an idea of how it looks, and I really liked it. I think it sort of seems like a rug for Barbie, or like a tapestry art piece for Barbie as well, which I really like the idea of making mini doll-sized rugs. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.